Hello everyone and welcome back to one of my videos. My name is Joe, as you all know, and I understand I haven't made a video in about 2 weeks. However, I've been really busy with work and busy with school, and mostly school and work is what I'm going to be talking about in this. First, let's start with working as a teenager. I know I've talked about this in one of my videos, Life as a High School Student. It was a podcast and I also made a poem about it. Working as a student, I've been working since I was 16 years old. Well, 14. I first started babysitting for a few moms on Facebook. I would babysit their kids for a few hours a day and throughout the night sometimes when they obviously wanted to go out with their friends and do what they needed to do, go to work. I made decent money as a 14-year-old, like 10 bucks an hour, and I would be watching these kids for 3, 4, 5 hours, and that wasn't bad. Sometimes it would be every day on the weekend, and it wasn't terrible. I really enjoyed working with the children that I worked with, hung out with, because they were nice kids, they listened, and they weren't extremely young. They were like 5, 6, 7, like they weren't babies, they were a bit older. They were enjoyable to be around, and that made me like children more. However, I would never be a teacher. I would only be a professor at like a college or university if I was going to go to school for it, because going through school throughout elementary and all of high school, which I am done in a month, watching how kids act and how they treat teachers, how they are around other students, how they're different around their parents. No, I just like couldn't deal with it, because let's say I was a grade 4 teacher, I wouldn't want to babysit 10-year-olds because they kind of like do whatever they want. They don't really listen. Like when I was in grade 4 and grade 5, most of the kids in my class, like they didn't really listen to the teacher. They kind of just did whatever they want. Obviously they were kids. Most teachers seemed annoyed of the children because of how much they wouldn't listen. Speed up to when I was in grade 7. I'm not going to use real names, but we had our teacher, Miss Crossett, we'll say that's her name, and she left on maternity leave to obviously give birth because she was having a child, and we got a substitute, Miss K. We were in a portable as our classroom, which was outside the actual school, and it was a grade 7, grade 8 split class. And once we got our substitute teacher, nobody ever listened. Things were crazy. Like people would flip desks, people would run around the halls, people were crazy, and I too was involved with some of this. However, I as well got my work completed and listened to the teacher at times, but obviously I was trying to be cool and fit in with my friends, so I would just make a ruckus with them sometimes. However, there were like 10 students in that class who would absolutely do whatever they wanted every single day. And you know, in elementary school in Canada, they just push you to the next grade. So even if you're like having 40s, 50s in all classes, like math, language, all of the classes that they teach in elementary school in grade 7, 8, all grades, they just push you to the next grade. The only, even if you have incomplete work, like they push you. And the only way they can keep you back another year is if your parents say it's okay, which I honestly thought was silly. That's the word I'm gonna use. Oh,
this girl needs to shut up.
I honestly thought it was kind of ridiculous, because here in Canada, they're too soft on kids. You just keep pushing them to the next grade. And even in high school, it's a 50 to pass. A 50 is a D. Like a D. That is bad. That is almost a fail. If you get any lower than a D, it's considered a fail. You have to retake that class in high school. And honestly, they're just too soft. The curriculum is too soft. And even in the curriculum of some classes, they don't teach realistic things you'd use after high school, because not everybody is going to go to university. Not everybody is going to be a doctor. Not everybody's going to go to college. Some people go to the trades. Some people start a business. Some people go to the workforce. Not everybody is going to do the same thing. So some of the things they teach in high school are kind of irrelevant, and they have a lot of mandatory classes. I think math is important because you should obviously know basic math. Addition, multiplication, division, subtraction, basic math, mental math, important, because what if you become an accountant? Accounting is not a mandatory class. Budgeting your life is not a mandatory class. There is careers class, which like helps you like learn how to budget, but it's for half a semester in grade 10, and nobody gives a shit about anything in grade 10, trust me. Like grade 9, they're like, oh my god, I'm in high school, I'm focused. But then grade 10 comes and they're like, last year was shit. Fuck school. That's literally what they think. So nobody actually gives a shit. And then they get to grade 11 and they're like, oh yeah, I need to do a bit better. Like I didn't do as good last year. And then when you get to grade 12, they're like, oh, I need to get all my shit. But it's like, nobody remembers that careers class from grade 10. Nobody remembers anything they learned, because guess what? Everybody throws out all their schoolwork as soon as the summer hits. All the knowledge, it went in and out the other year. Budgeting, lifestyle, accounting, money use should be pushed as a mandatory class, like all in one. And it should be, you have to take it for 2 years at least. And I mean, you have to, they're mandatory for grade 11 and 12. You shouldn't be able to pass high school without taking a budgeting class, budgeting your life class, because most students go to university or college after high school and they go right away. Like they don't even take a gap year. Majority of students don't take a gap year. Personally, I think college and university is a pyramid scheme unless you're going for trades, because you will make money while being trained in the trades. You will have to go to actual college to do in-person classes on, like, let's say you're going to be an electrician. You have to learn about circuits and all that stuff. However, you have to pay for college, but it's very cheap, much cheaper than going to be a psychologist. On training in the real workforce, and you get paid back for that training because you're working. You get paid for that, as well as an apprenticeship. You get paid for that. Essentially paying for school while working at the same time. You are going to school and your school is paying for your school, if that makes any sense, because you are getting paid for training on how to be an electrician, how to be a mechanic, how to be all these things that have to do with the trades. And that is a great way to go. If you're going to go in the trades, it's great. You will make money. You will mostly have probably a job for the rest of your life. And it's not exactly a waste of time, because you are going to be skilled in something. You won't be making minimum wage for the rest of your life, because minimum wage is for unskilled human beings. And I'm not saying that they're not skilled in like personal hobbies per se. They never took up a skill to do, and you don't always have to go to school for a skill. My dad is a software developer. He made his own game engine and he never went to school for it. He went to school to be an electrician, and he became a licensed electrician, and he worked as an electrician for a while and found out that he was more interested in programming and computers and doing the background stuff of video games and graphics and everything. He is not huge on the graphic design, but he can still do it. You know what I'm saying? He got more interested in the programming video games in the background. So he made an engine called Jade Engine. I will put his YouTube in the description, and take a follow, take a look. He makes great videos. He didn't go to school at all. It was all self-taught. He started a YouTube channel. He started buying Udemy courses for $20, $30 max, and learning from those, learning from free YouTube videos, getting in contact with people, all on his own, no help. And he got a job at a programming place. He works from home and he enjoys it for the most part. It's nice to work from home, obviously, doing something that you've wanted to do for quite some time, because he's been programming for about 3 years now on his own. But he didn't go to school for that, and he is pretty good. He got a job out of it. The job usually looks for people who have a degree in computer science, who have a degree or a bachelor in programming, graphic design, all those things. Jobs usually look for that. Did you go to school for it? However, he got a job out of it because he was experienced. He pushed himself to learn how to do the programming and how to do it, and he became obsessed with it, and he actually loves it, and he'd rather do it on his own time. A love for him. He doesn't just work to do it. He does it outside of work. He works all day long. He enjoys it. He's making a video game called The Lost Children, and so far it's awesome. He doesn't have levels yet, but he's got a start, and it's a story-based game, sort of like Final Fantasy, because that's his inspiration. He's always been very interested in Final Fantasy games as a kid, and he did that without going to school. He's a living proof you don't need to be a skilled human being by going to college or university. And I look up to that. I, for one, have no motivation to do anything for college or university. Like, I know a lot of people going to college or university to be a psychologist here in Ontario. However, we don't need more psychologists. We don't need more therapists here in Canada. We do not. We need more tradesmen. We need more critical thinkers. We need more science skilled people, because one day those jobs are going to be taken over by robots, like cashiers, minimum wage jobs. One day they'll be taken over by robots, maybe in a very long time, 10, 15 years. I have no clue, obviously. All of this majority is just like how I feel and how I've seen things and what I've grown up around and what I've experienced and watched and everything. There's nothing I would want to go to college or university for that I would actually get a job out of after school. I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars on tuition, a place to stay, meal prep, books, all these things, when most people don't even know how to budget out of high school. They get out of high school spending all their money all the time on little things, new things. They always want the new thing, the new iPhone, the new AirPods, the new shoe, the new clothing, the new bed set, the new whatever. It doesn't matter. They always want the new things. So they spend all their money all the time. No good budget habits. Their money is always gone. They always don't have money. And as well as working a part-time job. And then they go on a leave of absence at their part-time job and they go to school. But they have to find a way to pay for all this stuff. So they take out student loans, and then they get out of school and they eventually can't find a job they can't find a job for what they went to school for. They just have a bachelor in so-and-so. And they eventually come back to the place they were working part-time and work there. Most people go to school for bullshit and get out of school and go work at a minimum wage place for the rest of their lives because they went to school for some fucking bullshit. Like, nothing even fucking important. Like, we don't need more of those things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could list everything off that we don't need more that people go to school for, but we don't have the time for that. We really digressed for a good 15 minutes. We started talking about working as a student, and I went on a whole rampage about school, which is honestly what I wanted to talk about. But like I said, I started babysitting when I was 14. When I was 15, I stopped babysitting for people. I tried so hard to get a job, handed out resumes all the time. I turned 16. I made a friend, and his mom worked at this pizza place, and she gave me a reference. I got an interview. I got the job, my first job. I worked there for about a year, and a year into working there, I got promoted to a manager position at 16 years old. I was a manager for about another year there. Ended up quitting last year in November 2023 because I ended up getting face piercings, as you can see, and their business didn't, they had a policy on piercings. You can only have one, you get the gist of it. So I ended up quitting because I just didn't want to cause more problems. So I found another job at this grocery store, and it was a union-based grocery store, and I was obviously at the bottom, and I got a job there in November 2023. They called me, had an interview, I got hired on the spot, and then I started working there. I worked there for about 4 months, and it was a great place to work, great people to work around, great job. I was a hot deli clerk, and I got employee of the month while I was there. My manager was a very nice person, and I really enjoyed the people around there. I got along with them really well. They didn't have any problem with my face piercings. I asked them that in the interview. They were fine with it. However, since it was union-based and I was at the bottom of seniority, I barely got 12 hours a week, and I was trying to pay for my car because I'm paying for my car right now, and trying to save up for to go for my G2 and just save up in general because I wanted money to save up, you know, for life, have good budgeting habits. But I would make like $200 paychecks every other week, and like that wasn't really cutting it because I needed to pay $600 a month for my car. And I ended up quitting and talking to my manager. I put my 2 weeks in, and I got a job at another grocery store. I had an interview, and then they hired me. I had orientation, and then I started right away, and they really enjoyed my presence. I am currently working there now as a part-time person. I wouldn't say student because I work quite a few hours. I get about at least 20 to 25 hours a week every week, and it's much better because I get much bigger paychecks, and I do enjoy working with the people that I work with, and I do enjoy my managers. Everyone there is quite great, and I haven't gotten any promotions there as of yet. I've been working there for almost 2.5 months, but I have been appreciated and recognized for the work that I try to do, as I'm always trying to grow and be better, and trying to push the people around me to as well be better and do more. Always doing more. I'm always trying my best. Like sometimes I do get lazy, I do get depressed, but I never stop pushing for what I want. And I think that's the most important thing about life. So yeah, that is literally my work experience in a nutshell. I did talk about that for like 5 minutes, but I tried to like skip the parts that weren't that important. But yeah, life can be difficult. Life is not fair. Life doesn't love you. As soon as you walk out your front door, you are a number to this world. However, you just have to focus on what you want in life. And people always ask me, what's your destination? What do you want to do? Well, I'm going to graduate high school. I'm going to get my diploma. I'm going to go on vacation for 2 weeks in July, come back. I'm going to hopefully get a full-time position at my job that I have right now, and bust my ass, I guess you'd say. And I'm going to work every single day, hopefully, and I'm hopefully get full-time hours. And even if I do, I want to do a side job, like a delivery driving job, something that I can do with flexible hours just to get some extra cash. And I just want to save money, get my car paid off, get my own insurance. As you all know, I passed my G2. I talked about that in my other video. Get more experience driving, have more good experiences in life, keep having healthy habits of keeping my room clean and saving money and doing all these lovely things that life is throwing at you all the time. And I just want to push, probably take 2 years of working full-time and extra small jobs on the side, save up, get a credit card in the time, get good credit so I can eventually this will definitely take like 2 years to build. Building your credit takes time, but I want to eventually get good credit and take out a loan on a building and start a business. I don't exactly know per this second what kind of business I want to start, but I do know that I want to do something with my life, and I can take a risk owning a business. However, I am taking the biggest risk in this instead of working a minimum wage job for the rest of my life. But taking the risk, I could have a lot of good things come out of this. If it's successful, then that's amazing. I will be proud of myself and everybody who helped me form this business. And if it's not a success, my backup plan is to go into the trades and become an electrician or something that I enjoy in the trades. My dad is a licensed electrician, so I will be asking him to help me get through school, obviously. I'm not math smart, science smart, but if you want something, you can do it. Anyways, that's seriously what I wanted to talk about today. I know I haven't made a video in a while, but hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Joe, and I'll see you next time. You get this through your head.
still here, you'd rather be out. Feeling so uptight, this ain't look right. I'm trying to say that I'm not okay. I'll cry a million words just for you to see that you tortured me. A million words and a million cries of all your life.
How I just like never can seem to forget anything. It doesn't matter what happens to me, good or bad. I just only remember the bad things and I just can't get over it. So